to buy lunch and I'm.
Oh, are we there already?
JJ's on it, man. She's
Okay,
got the
no.
right
Oh,
time.
You'd have to really blow it.
Yes, she does. She's really good.
All right.
So
We're
figured out how
live.
much Dave
Did I do
says.
this
and
just
Mike
Do you need
says.
some warning? I know you got to tape this next.
It says live. I think we're on.
We're ready to go. Okay. We're gonna convene the county ditch board, this joint ditch board meeting for June 1st.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Yes, we have a motion to approve the minutes in a second. Any discussion?
I'd like Mr. Wolf to read the minutes.
We don't always get what you want, but,
I will withdraw. my
Try
motion.
sometimes.
okay, we have motion in a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Item 3.1 is a consent agenda item. It's to set a public hearing for 8 AM on June 15th, 2021 to hear the engineer's report for maintenance needs concerning county drainage ditch number 10.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
yes, I think Cindy's online. Cindy, can you just tell us how that's gonna work for folks who want to be here in person?
That's a good question, commissioners. We did receive the preliminary draft report, and I think when we send that out, the notice of what's being proposed, we will definitely have some interest in people attending. So I was going to actually work around, I didn't know what those numbers were going to come in, and depending upon what they were, I think, it kind of would be the determining factor on how many people would want to come in to actually voice their opinion. Given what I've just seen, I think that we were going to have a fairly substantial amount of people that they're going to want to be here. And so understanding our limited capacity in that room that you guys are currently in, I'm not entirely certain if we allow them to be escorted, if this can be streamed in another conference room that allows them to be present. We also will be sending out letters to each one of the benefited owners to let them know, and I ask them to attend via Zoom. I don't know whether or not they will want to do that or not.
I don't just think most of them will. They'll want to be here.
I
Cindy,
would ag-
we can put some chairs in this room, I think, and, host the meeting here. There's enough chairs down here for a good amount of people. So, they can only speak during a public hearing for a specific period and on a certain topic anyway. So
Okay, so
I
we will, all right, and by the time we get to this meeting, our doors would be officially open anyway.
yep.
So I don't even know if we could prohibit them, even if,
No, and
We don't want to prohibit anybody. And if there's too many, just like in the boardroom, we can set some chairs up in the hallway out here and they can just come in and address the board on their time. We'll make it work.
okay.
And in the correspondence, can we make sure they know they have the option to provide written correspondence to the board too, for folks who are going to be working or not able to come at that time? I agree with you. I do think many of the landowners will want to provide their opinion. I'd almost rather it come in written correspondence to the whole board instead of all calls to me where I'm supposed to then pass on those those opinions in better language to the rest of the board and things. I would really appreciate,
Cindy, are you
that
going to
option.
hold a meeting out there and show them what the results are prior to the public hearing? Kind of like you would have opened a house on a project or something?
One of the proposals that the company the engineers that actually conducted the survey is that they would meet with the board and kind of get direction and then meet with the property owners. They're going to be able to better just state what their findings are. Some of the information, of course, is an engineer language, so I'm not entirely certain how they'd present it. And they actually present 3 options, but all 3 of them are made my eyes go googly. There's no doubt about that. So I would, if there is a way for us to, I don't know if there's a place for us to meet, maybe in Belle Plaine, someplace large enough.
Well, I was wondering about the Belle Plaine Library, the conference room or something there, but it seems to me if you were to have it up, the different options, and explain it to the property owners before the board hosts a public hearing, it would help give them some ideas and input into what we bring forward to the board then for the discussion. I think it would help,
But that'd have to happen in the next 2 weeks.
correct?
I would like to actually have that engineer. He's going to be present for this board, for the board meeting on the 15th as well. He's the one of the folks who are well versed, and many of you know him. He used to be the former administrator for LeSueur County, now works for this company. So he is the one that I think is going to be presenting at our county board. What we do want to make sure is that it's not a determining meeting, that it is informational only for them to get an understanding, and that the decision-making body is going to be on the 15th. And maybe it would allow them to formalize their questions.
Yeah, I think you should have something so that the board knows people have seen it and the board isn't trying to make a decision on the 15th for the first time, and that the residents, and Daryl has done plenty of public meetings when he was the highway engineer, so he'd be good in a meeting like that.
Correct. I mean, one of the proposals across the board is that they would want to meet with the property owner. So let me reach out to him and see if there's any way that we could quickly send out a notice for them to attend an informational meeting,
Yeah, that'd be great.
either probably next week, because we only have a draft report and I want to know when his report's going to be final. And then get to you. And I also want to know for this board is, you may want to take a look at that as soon as I have that draft. I'll include it with the board packet as well, but you may want to absorb some of its contents.
Yeah.
So I do think that there will be a discussion, and it may be a little lengthy.
I agree. Thank you, Cindy.
You bet.
Ken is in your district, right?
Dish 10, yep, it's all in District 1.
All
All
right,
right, thank you, Cindy.
that was so long, I forgot. We have a motion in a second. That was the
Yep.
discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. There are no non-consent items, and we have item 5, which we need a motion to adjourn.
Hold on, Mr. Chairman, I want to get the minutes of this meeting, so I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.